Alright, so this is actually take two doing this. I had to scrap the first recording. So everything I was going to show off, I already did. So that's fun. But this is just basically me showing off my helicopter. It's not done. It's almost done, but it's not quite done. The rotors, so I'm going to go over everything I did in the first recording. And then I'm just going to kind of wrap the video up. This is the Revell Huey Gunship 1/35th scale model. It's pretty cool. I have it displayed. There were three options for the side cannons, or the weapon on the side. You could do either, you had the option between missile launchers, like rotating machine guns, or this like machine gun. There were four options. I don't know if I said three or four. There were four options. I chose the one that was the machine gun. I'll show it off a little bit closer here. It's the machine gun with the rocket launcher underneath. Because I thought that looked the coolest. This model has been, I think, the most time I've spent on a model ever. I've been working on this thing for 6 weeks, I think. Just kind of back and forth with the mold flash and the assembly. It took me like 2 weeks to get this door on, and then I got it on and it broke. So that's really fun. Let me actually light this up a little better so you can, maybe that'll help with the lighting. So this is, again, 1/35th scale model. Here it is with a guy from a World War II mortar team for scale, so you can kind of see how it will look. And anyone out there who doesn't know, how big 1/35th scale is, here it is next to a bottle cap. So that will maybe give you some forbidden currency. I have a penny there. So that'll give you an idea, I guess, maybe. It's probably not a very good size comparison because a penny and a bottle cap are really small. But there you go. So what I did in the first recording is I airbrushed the rotors black. I'll move this a little bit closer so you can see. These are just completely black. Nothing to really write home about. I'm just going to paint the stem here. I'm just going to paint this whole assembly silver. Leave these black. And then I'm going to show off a weathering method before I do that. And I'm going to show off two weathering methods, actually. Both of them I'm going to do on my tank instead of on this, because this is already weathered enough. So this is going to get moved out, and I'm going to bring in my Walker Bulldog. So give me a second to grab that. Alright, here is everybody's favorite tank. Yeah, the best tank ever. I actually think this thing is really good. I like this model a lot. But that's besides the point. What we are going to be doing, I am going to be doing, is you're going to be, for this weathering method, you're going to want super glue. Liquid super glue specifically, and a brass brush. I got this from Harbor Freight. I was going to say Hobby Lobby. I don't think Hobby Lobby has these. It's like 98 cents. This is like $4. You can get both of them at Lowe's or Harbor Freight. Actually, now that I say that, I don't know if they sell super glue at Harbor Freight. Or no, I got the super glue at Hobby Lobby. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You know where to buy super glue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the super glue right here. Okay. So you can see where that is. Put the cap on it because you don't want to glue yourself. And then you take the brass brush and you just kind of scrape it and keep on scraping. Actually, taking the turret off is kind of helpful because it allows you to hold it a little better. And it gives it some nice texturing, as you can maybe see there. Let me use my LED. I had to do this in the first recording. You can kind of see the texturing there, what that looks like. And when the super glue dries, because you're not going to want to paint over that, but when the super glue dries, it'll be, it'll be pretty visible. And it looks really good. It looks really, really good if you do it enough. You can also do the same thing, but instead of super glue, you can use like modeling putty, and that's also very valid. It's kind of subtle when you paint over it, and then maybe throw like a wash or do some metallic dry brush. Some metallic dry brushing over it. It looks a lot better. And the second thing I'm going to do. I always say we. I'm the only one here. I'm not crazy. Second thing I'm going to do is basically bending the plastic to make it look like it's been damaged from gunfire, or just kind of scarring it up. And what you're going to want for that process is a pair of pliers. These are just small pliers that I can work with on my models. And then flush cutters or wire cutters, whatever, but it works better with flush cutters. No hobbyist, in my opinion, should really own wire cutters. It's not necessary. I have a pair. I almost never use them. These cut everything off the sprue with these. I do some of my trimming with these. Everything I do that involves like cutting plastic, I do with this right here or an X-Acto knife. I never use wire cutters. And anyone out there who doesn't know what I mean by wire cutters, I mean these things. These are wire cutters. You use this to cut metal. Way too overkill for this. That's for figure restoration. So yeah, so what you're gonna do is, I recommend doing this before you put your model together. I don't have this glued, so I can just do that. But you're gonna just kind of bend this, and if you work at it enough, it may require some heat. You may want to heat it up before you do this. I'm not going to. I'm going to kind of experiment a little bit. I did it on the helicopter without heat, and it came out fine, so I don't really see the need in this scenario for heat usage. But, I don't want to have to do something I deem unnecessary. And it's kind of, if you work at it enough, you'll get it, but you're basically just going to want to, grab and twist and pull, and grab and twist and pull, and keep doing that, and you get something to that effect. It looks damaged. It's appropriate. I did it where there's, the silver paint there so that it looks good. It looks realistic, I would, again, as well with the other thing as well, I would recommend doing this. I would recommend doing both of these methods, the scraping and the bending, before you paint it, because, you can get something like that on the underside. I don't know if it's going to focus. Where the plastic is kind of got white stress marks, because you're kind of you're pulling on it and ripping it a little bit, so it's going to do that. But yeah, those are kind of the two methods I used to have battle damage on my helicopter. And yeah, once everything is, together and it looks good, then it looks a lot better. It adds that level of realism that makes your model look less like a toy and more like something to have on display. I don't want to hype this up like it's the best thing ever, but I think it looks pretty good. I'm very happy with it. This one, I mean, I spent a lot of time on this as well. I'm gonna do the same for the helicopter. But it really helps make your model look like something that you are proud of instead of, something that was maybe done in the factory or, whatever. Because things like this shouldn't be clean, right? They should be very, very damaged. But I didn't use the wire cutters that time, but you can also just kind of don't cut the plastic, but make marks on it, and it kind of has a nice effect. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but you gotta trust me, it does look very, very good. So, yeah, I will. I'm going to paint the silver on the Huey, and then I will come back when that is done. I'll kind of show it off a little bit. I'm probably going to make a second video with decals, how to do water slides, because I think that's something that a lot of people, I could see a lot of people being intimidated about doing water slide decals, because it's kind of annoying. So yeah, I'll do a follow-up video to this at some point, possibly doing water slides, and that'll be everything on the helicopter. So, yeah, I'm going to paint that silver, and then I'll come back when that's done. So, now I have the silver done on the rotors, as you can see there. So, that's good. I think the next thing I'm going to do is... I used the same silver for everything. It's this one, the Vallejo Natural Steel. It's at Hobby Lobby. So is this one, German Gray. I'm going to use this next on the blades here, just to kind of accent them a little bit of weathering. I don't like my stuff just being one color. If you look at this, I used the base primer, which was that. It's the same green primer that I use on everything. It's that, the Krylon Olive surface primer all in one. So I used that, and then I went over it with a layer of Field Gray from Tamiya, and then I went over that with a layer of Olive Drab from Vallejo, and then I went over that with a layer of dark green from Vallejo. So everything kind of just mixes into one, and then all of the spots where I did weathering, there's this kind of like bronze color to sort of show maybe some rust, and I'm going to go over that again with the green as well, so that it all looks, normal and natural the way it should be. Because this thing would be probably pretty dirty. It might have hit a couple birds on its flights. So, yeah, I'm gonna do the paint detailing on these blades, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. That's it. So it doesn't look all that visible from the camera, but it is definitely an improvement on, the look of it. The last thing I'm probably going to show off is just the overall model. I think this thing came out really well. It's not done, but I don't think I'm going to be making any more videos on it. I might show it off again at some point in the future, but I wouldn't expect any more content. I think I made maybe 2 videos. I don't know. I know I featured it in 2 videos. I don't know if I made 2 videos on it. But, you've got some detailing in there. It's been a journey putting this thing together, that's for sure. I wouldn't recommend this for anyone. I may have said this in this video, or I might have said it in the last one and think I said it here. I wouldn't recommend this for anyone who isn't a customizer, or someone who doesn't know their way around a model. If you are putting together, if this is one of the first vehicles you're putting together, don't start with this one. If you want this to look good, you should do this after you are very, very familiar with modeling, because, it was a very, very, not necessarily a hard build, it's just a lot of time and patience, and when you're first starting off, it can be kind of hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel with something like this. I would not recommend this for, non-veteran modelers. Not saying that I'm a veteran, but I'm definitely experienced And this, it wasn't hard, it was just long, you know? So, that's really all I have on this thing. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you in the next one.